Welcome back guys, Slybacon here. Total War released a video and a blog post yesterday explaining how Vampiric corruption works in Total War Warhammer. So let's look at what we know so far. I guess the logical place to start is what is corruption. The vampire counts are sustained by black magic. As the magic gets stronger, the land itself becomes blighted and cursed. Trees wither, the earth dies, skies darken, and the spirits of the dead stir. So corruption in a nutshell is the cursed land. Honestly, the first thing I thought of when the video started was, oh, it's just creep from StarCraft 2. And yet Blizzard probably stole the idea from Warhammer, and Warhammer stole it from somebody else, and somebody stole it from the Bible, and depending on your beliefs, the Bible stole it from somebody else. Anyway, what I guess I'm getting at is it's not a new concept in games, but it is one I always enjoy, as I think it adds another dimension to gameplay. In Total War Warhammer, vampire counts don't build buildings, shrines, temples, etc. To increase public order in controlled territories. Instead, they use corruption. Corruption in a province grants 1 point of public order for every 10% of corruption. Corruption is spread by armies and heroes, and there are some skills, traits and items that can increase the rate of corruption, although no rates of how fast corruption actually works has been mentioned apart from it's slow. Even though the vampire counts don't have buildings that directly increase public order, they can build balefire buildings which increase corruption, and large balefires can even spread corruption into adjacent territories. So these are effectively public order buildings. Vampire armies will suffer attrition when travelling through uncorrupted territories, and living armies will suffer attrition when travelling through corrupted territories. For those of you who don't know, attrition is units dying in your army, and the amount of deaths depend on your attrition rate. In unconquered regions, corruption reduces public order, which can cause a rebellion. If this occurs, an undead army can spawn in an attempt to take the land for the undead. If a vampire count army invades and conquers a city, the army will need to stay in the town to prevent dissent until the territory has enough corruption. On the flip side, any living army will need to stay in a conquered city until the land is cleansed of the corruption. Living races can counter corruption by constructing shrines, shaman hovels and temples. Living heroes automatically counter corruption where they detect it, and some heroes such as the witch hunters remove corruption at a higher rate, which is an awesome feature. Let's just hope it's not nerfed due to perceived balance issues that everybody seems to have when one unit counters another. There will also be dynamic events in the game, the outcome of which may increase or decrease the corruption. In the blog post they give an example of how influence works. A vampire hero providing 3 points of vampiric influence in an empire region with a shrine of Sigma that provides 4 points of anti-corruption, while there is an event active that produces 1 point of chaos corruption when the total is 8, so some maths. 8 points of influence in a region, so 8 divided by 100% equals 12.5% of influence for each point of influence. So 1 point means 12.5% chaos corruption, 3 points is 37.5% vampiric corruption, and 50% Sigma influence in the region. As we said earlier, they haven't mentioned at what rate the corruption occurs, so my guesstimate is somewhere around 5% per turn. So my final thoughts, well, to me, this means that when playing the vampire counts, enemies are going to have a hard time invading and holding your cities, but equally you're going to have a hard time expanding, which kind of makes sense when you think about it with the whole undead slow moving thing. I'm actually starting to get pretty excited about the vampire counts and the slow moving wall of death playstyle. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video guys, thanks for watching and we will catch you next time.